think people in the 1800s were scared of Victoria? You're wrong! They were actually scared of Paraguay! We managed to grab the entirety of South America as Paraguay, competing with the Americans and other great powers. So make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like these. If we get 4,000 likes, I'm going to do a very special Sokoto into African unification run. Paraguay truly is one of the most surprising nations I've ever played as. They start in one of the worst situations, and historically Paraguay got absolutely skibbidied on by the Brazilians, Argentinians, Bolivians. Everybody basically dumped on them, and they lost more than half of their population or something like that. It is crazy how unfortunate Paraguay was compared to how fortunate it's going to be in our game. Am I right? We're fixing history, guys. We're fixing it. First off, I want to mention that they actually started with some pretty decent technological advantages, so we got that going for us. We're going to double down on this, go for stock exchange and rush for nationalism. We got a few barracks, we've got a little bit of rural buildings, and we even have an arms industry, so we're doing pretty decent from that perspective. We're going to switch to rough iron tools because we got an iron mine so we can support it. Legislation wise, it is a very unique nation for sure at the start of the campaign because we have isolationism, but we've got interventionism, we got tenant farmers, racial segregation, presidential republic, and legacy slavery. So that's the first thing we're going to be attempting to get rid of if possible. Our government is actually an intelligent government, some would even say, and we have the unique despotic utopia ideology, our interest group leader, as well as for the dictator Jose Gaspar Rodriguez de Francia. Now take note, he is 69 years old, so he might not be around for too much longer. We kind of want to make use of him for as long as we possibly can. We also have the second state we start with not incorporated, so we're going to do that right now, incorporatio, and of course we're going to use our decrees to maximum efficiency. We're going to especially rely on the increased enlistment efforts decree, and it's very important that we bolster the abolitionist movement as well as suppress the pro-slavery movement so we can more easily pass the law we're trying to enact right now. We also can invite Giuseppe Mazzini, which would support the modernization movement. We definitely want to modernize our country. Speaking of, we only have 280,000 pops and less than 500,000 GDP, so this is going to be for sure a very rough ride. Reality is, in order for us to literally survive, we have to push early on for wars against Argentina and our fellow Platinians, because we are a Platinian primary culture as well as Guarani primary culture. Once our beloved leader dies, we will lose the Pirajes, which is what's keeping our intelligentsia strong right now and lowering radicals from political movements. The fall of Salaveri, the Confederation must disappear forever. Fully agreed. That's going to be on our to-do list. But for now, we're attacking Argentina. We are in essence taking out the entirety of Argentina. Once we win this war, there will be only one Platinian nation in the south, and its name starts with the Pa, ends with Aguay. Pa Uruguay? Damn it, we gotta kill Uruguay as well now. Alright, so for the first few battles, we are setting our armies to defend front. We've already won quite a few of these engagements, and we've drained the manpower pool of the Argentinians. Once we've recruited a few extra soldiers, we can start pushing ourselves. We're gonna have the objective, of course, of completely wiping out Argentina. We do have rebel issues though, so unfortunately I am gonna have to cancel my passing of this particular legislation. We're gonna go for public schools instead. Okay, it looks like we do have a clear advantage over the Argentinians, so let's go ahead and start advancing. Problem is, economically we are going massively into the red right now. We cannot sustain a prolonged war against them. There you go, boys, we have gotten the capital, so we've officially won the war, and instead of Paraguay, we're technically Argentina right now in just 2 years. This is huge, but we have problems, of course, as you would imagine. We have to incorporate all these states, so that is only going to take 22 months, as this is, of course, Platinian areas. Oh my god, look at all those mines we managed to get from the Argentinians. Okay, I have to say, this is nice. I am actually enjoying this. We, of course, will be deleting the construction sector. That is one of the reasons our economy is completely dying right now. I have called in the Chileans in this war, but I kind of feel like maybe that was a bit of a mistake, since now these guys are fearful. They might back out of the war. Okay, we were lucky Turkey, they did not actually back out, so we can actually get all the provinces that we want to get. Also, Chile basically got baited because we added them with the promise of liberating the one little province that already is a part of Peru, so they're literally getting nothing out of this war. We jebaited the Chileans, guys. We literally jebaited the Chileans. There we go. Easiest war imaginable, and in just 3 years, we got half of the Latin parts of South America. That's insane. We started with basically nothing, by the way, okay? And yes, this is going to be primarily a militaristic playthrough, that's for sure. Now, again, we have to incorporate all of these provinces, otherwise we're getting nothing out of it. Gold is basically the only thing sustaining us right now. Look at that. We're getting 9,000 from minting, which is from mostly the gold, because we don't really have much GDP going for us. We're going to slowly go back to medium taxation once we're able to. We're still in the process of recovering after these absolutely brutal wars. Hey, we also got public schools. That's huge. That's actually is huge. Let's go for level 2 public education. We want to obviously modernize our nation in the meanwhile, not just expand. Total separation is going to be pretty good too, since it will allow us to accept more of the pops without regards to whatever religion they might have. And there we go. We should now be able to sustain medium taxation. We are actually back in business. Stop decreasing relations too. Our biggest shortages are weapons and paper, so that's going to be our main focus, where we've queued up a couple of paper mills and an extra arms industry. We're going to need especially that extra arms industry for whenever we start taking on the rest of the South American nations. And check it out, we're already 19,000 and growing strong. Time to be ours, Uruguay. You are also Platinian, so yeah, this way we've got all the Platinian pops under one roof. 1,120,000 Platinians together finally. And let's not forget 200,000 Guarani as well, of course. Now, one problem we have right now is that because I fully annexed Argentina, there's no more claims in Buenos Aires state as well as in Mapuche Mendoza. So what that means is that anyone can just colonize this now. So that means the British, the French, whoever has colonialism laws can colonize this. I always forget the fact that Chile does have really good units, so I guess we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, let them push a bit more, or at the very least wait until we recruit some more soldiers. Okay, we got a golden opportunity. They're fighting natives in the south, so they've divided their army in half, which means now we can take advantage of it and we can start pushing into Santiago. We just need Santiago for the war score, so then we don't need to worry about them afterwards. And there you have it. We got Santiago. We have officially won the war. Now the next big thing for us is going to be to get allies in Europe. So that means I'm going to improve with the British, I'm going to improve with the French, I'm going to improve with the Spaniards if I can. Apparently they don't have any interest in my area, so we're gonna get one in theirs, or actually they might have one in north part of South America. The Chileans had an artillery piece. I am gonna disband that because I don't need artillery. Same for the hussars and dragoons. We are good. Line infantry is all that we need for now. We're basically fighting peasants with sticks and stones anyway, right? Oh my god, look how juicy these provinces are. Sulfur, iron, gold. Same here. Sulfur, coal, whale oil, lead. Holy schnitzel. We've got all the resources. We literally have no excuse for us not being a superpower right now. No way, dude. We passed it. Holy schnitzel, we passed it. Okay. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. That's actually really good. It means I'm probably not going to restart this run. Let's go for cultural exclusion next. We have a lot of support for that. Look at that, guys. Like, actually, look at that. Our laws are really coming into it. With the exception of our trade law. Maybe this is going to be our biggest bane. We could always just do shenanigans and attack, do a fake war, and they open up our market. That's a I'm just saying it's a possibility. Now, for Peru, guys, it is probably one of the best areas in South America, and not many people realize this. Just check out all of these provinces, right? Iron, and again, lead, iron, sulfur. It is just, look at that. Just look at it. Every single province has some insane freaking resource. Every single one of them. So we kind of want to grab all of it, but we're really limited by our infamy. And Uruguay also joined in on this. So I kind of want to make Uruguay a protectorate because it's only 6 infamy, and because they are an insignificant power, which allows me to make them a protectorate. Now they're also in the League of Preferential States, and that's another reason why I'm making them a protectorate, because if I don't, likely they're gonna fall under the influence of the Americans, which right now they're not, but they will eventually. So we want to grab a hold of them before it's too late. Honestly, the addition of the sprites in this game game has made such a massive difference. I genuinely cannot remember how it was before. It was just horrible before they added the sprites. 78% success chance, obviously because of the intelligentsia, liberal movement, and what's the situation with this guy? 81 years. How old is this man gonna be? Like, seriously, is he gonna ever pass? This is crazy. In the 1800s, people did not live to be 80 much. That's for sure. The problem with him passing away is that we're gonna lose the amazing bonuses from Pirajes. So we're gonna have the intelligentsia not support us as much, unfortunately, or not have the ability to support us. I'm sorry, what? Ecuador just pieced us out? What? Did I just waste infamy? No. No, 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 no. Well, that is, to say the least, very frustrating. We kind of made a big waste right there. I guess I could have just done a little bit of a naval invasion in Ecuador or something. France is funding lobbies. Okay, I'm down with that. And we also got atmospheric engine pumps. Finally, okay, this is going to be the big game changer right here. Next war against Ecuador. They're not going to be able to back out of this so easily because we're going to have our border with them. Look at that. This little corridor here allows us border with Ecuador and with New Granada. Now, for New Granada, in order for me to make them a subject, I need to become a major power because they're also a fellow minor power, which makes things a little bit more complicated. It basically means it's a lot easier for me to just grab the areas here first. So even with Netherlands on their side, I should be able to win this. If we grab Guavane and Amazonas, then we have access to Venezuela afterwards too. Wait, what? We've got Polish migration. What? No actual way. Are we actually doing something good, guys? Now, the very obvious question is, how bad is the situation in Poland that they have to migrate here? Probably really bad, considering there's also a little revolt in the tip of Silesia. Now, this war is going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm not going to lie, because of the Dutch. Basically, I'm gonna keep my soldiers on defend front up until the Dutch get out of my face, in essence. I'm not gonna push at all, because if I do, I'm just gonna lose again and again. We also had to recruit a buttload of conscripts, and yeah, we actually are sustaining the front now. That's a little bit surprising, I'm not gonna lie. They've got line infantry, they got a little bit of mobile artillery, which is a little bit annoying, and they do have pretty professional soldiers for sure. That being said, they didn't add any actual war goals, so they should be able to peace out eventually. Oh, and did you guys know that even though we're isolated, because the Argentinians and the other nations had trade centers already built when we conquered them, we actually inherit those trade centers, so we're technically still trading. We are in fact importing guns, importing a lot of other things, but we just cannot expand the trade centers because we have isolationism, right? So it's kind of a way of bypassing isolationism temporarily anyway. The Serbs are migrating in mass. Oh my god, we're literally a paradise for the Eastern Europeans, aren't we? I mean, to be fair, it probably is better in our areas than whatever the holy mother of God is happening. What is that? What is happening in the Balkans again? All right, we're now actually officially winning battles against the Dutch too. Dr. Francia has passed away. Oh no, big Sag. So now we can enact a few different legislations. First off, Guarani stops being a primary culture of Paraguay with the fading of despotic utopian ideology into the annals of history. We can get National Guard and protectionism. So that means we start trading with the rest of the world. Or we can be locked out of Paraguay's powerful modernization and expansion journal entries and lose the Pirajes. Seeing as the flavor specific for Paraguay is the first option, I will go for that. So we get rid of Guarani. Take note, you cannot form Turtle Island anymore as Paraguay. At least not that I know of. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. I'd love to know if there's a way of forming Turtle Island, but I think they patched it so now the only nations that can form Turtle Island are like the natives in the US, I think some Siberians and so on. Might be wrong, I don't know. Maybe some people have managed to sneak their way into Turtle Island with Paraguay still, because they do have Guarani. Now we have 4 different entries in the Heart of America journal entry. We can build the fortress of Humaita, and this will give us prestige for 20 years and a home defense plus 40%. Obviously, this is going to be massively necessary right now. Hey, there you go. Netherlands has peaced out. Okay, now we can start pushing like crazy into Granada. Teach them a lesson, shall we? Let's see. Should we go for wealth voting? I guess wealth voting or technocracy wouldn't wouldn't be the worst idea right now. Maybe I'll just go technocracy so I get access to the extra company, because we don't have a company right now. We got Napoleon of the Americas. Francisco Solano Lopez becomes a general and gets Napoleon of the Americas trait, which gives him offense and defense percentage. We managed to get to the borders of the capital of New Granada finally, and we're about to enact Technocraticus, the greatest nation on earth. Of course, us, nobody else. We're the greatest here, have become a technocracy. So that means we're going to be able to get our very first company. Right now, I believe the Metal Syndicates is probably the best option, as well as one of the only options. So we're going to give them as many of the charters as we possibly can. And we've grabbed the capital of New Granada. So now it's just a matter of time before they're going to Capituladicus. Boom shakalaka, boy. This is the most border gorish I've ever seen anyone ever be. And of course, the British have started colonizing right next to me, because why wouldn't they? Time to go for colonial exploitation. I really did dread this. I kind of felt like, should I just restart now because I took too many provinces from Argentina? I think this might come to bite me in the ass. My only saving grace right now is that maybe I'll be able to barter for these provinces with the British. Not sure why I feel like I've got a little bit of a deja vu right now, since Ecuador again joined on the side of the Peruvians. This time we are going for the full annexation of Peru though. We do have a bit of an investment pool though. Check it out. We got 33 million and we got 100,000 reinvestment. So technically we should have double the amount of construction sectors. Let's actually do that now. We need to increase the amount of construction sectors we got. Also, let's go for dedicated police force, because we got a bit of turmoil, so we want to lower the penalties from that turmoil. And we also got to spam some trade centers. We've got none right now, and every single state would have some trade that they would like to do with the rest of the world, which would end up with us getting richer as consequence, as you'd imagine. Hey, speaking of, we just became a major power. Hell yeah, baby. 12th major power. What's our GDP looking like? We're behind Joseon and Egypt, a little bit behind the Egyptians, but we are closing up on the Brazil. Actually, no, we're above the Brazilians. Holy schnitzel, we're doing super good. Where's my army? My army teleported back to the HQ. Are you kidding me right now, brother? I love how they teleported when I literally just needed 7 more war support in order to enforce on Ecuador. Like, that's just the ultimate kick right there, honestly. All right, boys, we got it. We got it, boys. Look how beautiful our Paraguay is. Look how beautiful we are. Oh, I love this. Okay, speaking of, we also need to start the colonizing. So we're only doing these 2. We can colonize the rest because the British cannot touch that. So we want to compete with the British as much as we possibly can. Romanian mass migration. Hells yeah. The British have finished colonizing Buenos Aires, and I would love to get my hands on it. I'm actually curious to see what it would take. We could give them a little bit of iron too, so that's 80% chance. Come on, you gotta accept it. They did accept it. Oh, we sold our soul for this one state, but it's worth it, guys. Look at that. We got 16,000 English from it too. Interesting. Now we got to do the same with Mendoza. So we're basically competing with them now. We only have the colony of Mendoza we're going for, so we should be able to grab as much of this as possible. But the British still have the upper hand, so we're gonna have to trade for whatever the British get in Mendoza somehow afterwards. Oh God, I just realized we're not gonna be able to do the Paraguayan nation journal entry simply because of the amount of non-primary culture homelands. Oof. Holy shit, it's actually only 35 days to colonize a province now, because we got level 2 colonial affairs and we're only colonizing Mendoza. That's it. Now getting the province of Mendoza from the British is going to be similar to what we did before. We're going to give them a power block embassy, and we're giving some money as well as a lot of goods, because unfortunately it is the only way we're going to grab this without a major world war against the British Empire, right? 5 years we're going to have to be indebted to the British, but it's going to be a little bit better afterwards. Was it worth it for like 60,000 population? As one would expect, we got ourselves in yet another South American war. Now it's us and our beloved allies, the Russians. Yeah, that's right. We somehow managed to get the Russians. Apparently they hate Brazilians for some reason, and I'm not sure why. This war initially was against Venezuela, but instead of annexing all of Venezuela, considering I could get the Russians on my side, I decided, why don't I get all of the Amazon from the Brazilians, which turned into the first South American World War. If we win this, we're gonna grab a big chunk of South America. We're gonna have a name much bigger on the map, but we're also gonna have to chill for a really long time, because right now we have 7 million principal debt, which is really not good for us. We have to focus on recovering our economy. I'm gonna try my best to peace out New Granada and Venezuela if I can, so I can focus 100% on the Brazilians. Speak of the devil, the New Granadans basically just folded right there. We actually have a pretty significant advantage on all fronts. obviously because of the Russians' insane amount of soldiers just piling up on Brazilians. And there you go, Venezuela's about to capitulate any moment now to believe their capital is in Gran Colombia or Zulia, so it's Jover for them. We also can now do establish the Rosada foundry because we managed to get in one of our Paraguayan states logging camps, arms industries, and iron mines, all at 100% employment for their respective levels. To do the Heart of America, we also have to reform the Paraguayan army. That's going to be a little bit more difficult than I imagined because apparently we don't have too much support for the professional army, so I'm going to actually have to bring into the government the armed forces, the caudillos. And let's see, 70% advance. Let's go, please. Please hurry the schnitzel up. Hey, we got Bolivar. Hell yeah. So now we have access to the Atlantic Ocean from the northern parts as well, not just from the south. Why is the Netherlands in charge of this side? Don't tell me the Netherlands vassalized the Brazilians or something like that. No, they didn't. Okay, that's just weird. I didn't even know the Netherlands was in the war, to be honest with you guys. But apparently they were. Let's go for the last war goal here, which should be Para, and then we should be able to capitulate them. All right, it is Jover for Brazil too, as is for our economy. Oh God, what is happening, boys? What is happening right now? I'm scared of doing the economical revival. But hey, look at that. We actually look beautiful. Let's go ahead and incorporate the newly conquered states too. Oh, actually, Mato Grosso is already a state. I forgot. Majority of our state was actually in Brazil itself. Starting state, by the way. Now, if we pause construction, we're actually getting money, but we do have 40,000 in interest. So we're gonna have to try and become a major power again, which should lower our interest considerably, or just grind this out and pay it off the good old-fashioned way, I guess, too. Oh, I just realized I haven't been privatizing at all. I might be able to pay off most of my debt by just privatizing my buildings here. This is probably my favorite thing, when I forget to privatize and then I realize, oh, my economic issues are about to be fixed. Yep, there we go, down to 12.1 million already. 11, okay, never mind. We're probably gonna actually pay off most of this debt in the next few months. This right here is exactly why I wait until the last phase of the diplomatic play before I add any more war goals. If I was to add anything else, maybe the British, maybe the Americans, anyone else could have joined. But because they've all declared neutrality now, whatever I add now doesn't matter anymore because it's just the Central Americans and Mexicans can join. So now, of course, I will be adding what I really want, which is the complete annexation of what's left in Venezuela. So that way we got all of the Spanish-speaking parts in the northern parts of South America. Let me check the cultural map mode. I'm curious how many cultures have already sprung out. Colombian has. Okay, so they managed to do their national journal entry. We haven't, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but unfortunately it is what it is. We're gonna have to stick with Platinians and Guamari as our two primaries now. I guess Platinians is the actual only primary culture now, isn't it? Quechas are second highest pops. Really? The Native American Quechas outnumbered the South Andeans considerably, actually. Wow. Well, that is interesting to say the least. How many Colombians we got? We got 500,000 Colombians. We got 1 million Venezuelans. So Venezuelan also massively consolidated in Venezuela after we took the southern parts, which is why North Andean is still a thing, and we don't have Venezuelans in this bit. And of course, let's also make these complete states. How we doing here? Amazonas Para is still not complete states either. We'll get there eventually. Let's go ahead and increase the amount of construction sectors too, so we can say get an extra 10 probably. We can max out the ones in our capital, which, speaking of, Paraguay is still our capital, Bajo Paraguay. We got 2.5 million population in here and 4 million GDP. Also, an easy way of getting jobs around the entirety of my country is just spamming logging camps. Spam as many as possible, give people jobs. That way you get more loyalists and everything too. And also we can start exporting whatever is excess afterwards and make a lot of money off of it too. All right, boys, I got a good feeling about this. 2 setbacks, but we got 40% chance of passing professional army, 30% chance of passing professional army. Surely it's not gonna fail, right? Hey, there you go, baby. Okay, that means we can do the final Heart of America journal entry because we do have now professional army. We just need to have one state with 20 barracks. So that means we gotta build up in our capital an extra 15 barracks. Okay, we might be actually be making way more money from privatizing stuff than I expected initially. So we're gonna need to to double down a bit more and get more construction sectors now. We got to burn up the money that we're making. We don't want to be wasting money now, do we? Now for Suriname, I believe we have the perfect deal. First off, the cost actually went down a little bit. I'm not sure how they managed to figure out the costs, but I don't care. We're giving them power block, we're giving them a few goods and some money, and we're adding no tariffs and no subventions on a lot of goods, as well as less money. So that is a guarantee right there. Boom shakalaka. We got a quarter or 33% of the Guyana state now. We just got to get the rest of that. And the cool part is that we're actually doing free trade, so we're not going to be able to have tariffs anyway. So that's kind of like us baiting the British for this. Time for Chile to also disappear. They haven't colonized the southern tip and they will lose their claim, so I'm going to be worried about the British again, but they're not colonizing anyway. So I've been looking at them for the past 15 years. I don't know why they just stopped colonizing. I don't know if it's a bug or whatever, but I need them to colonize. If they don't do it, then I'm going to try myself to do it. Of course, the Brazilians join on their side, so we're going to liberate the northern bits of Brazil, add them to our future power block, which we're going to actually make after this war, and then the southern bits we're just straight up taking for ourselves. I also love how the labor movement is basically Grand Colombia. There we go, boys. Chile has been capitulado, fullius annexationis. Now let's try and rush for this southern pits here. We want to colonize this, and we're not colonizing Patagonia because all of the provinces that are not yet colonized are within our borders. So we want to basically quickly grab within 20 days per province all of Araucania before we finish Patagonia. And we also now can do reform the Paraguayan army, which can give us for 20 years supply consumption reduction or offense and defense. Oh my god, yes, for the offense and defense. That also means we got the heart of America done. Civis pacem fac bellum. If you want peace, do war. That's what that means. And also check it out, now we're getting ridiculous amounts of progress for the Paraguayan nation, and we are a great power. No way. Oh my god, we're the 8th great power. We're right above the Japanese, and GDP wise we're right behind the Austrians, above the Prussians, which unsurprisingly haven't unified. They don't do that much in this particular patch. Hindustan's the world's 4th. No way, the British lost India. I've never seen, guys, I swear to god, I have never actually seen the AI break away from the British Empire. I've never seen Hindustan ever. That is crazy. Well, that is so cool. Actually, what else is happening here? The British grabbed chunks of the Qing. Okay, fairly standard, I guess. The Americans forgot to grab one state here, Utah. Well, can't say I'm surprised. It definitely sucks living in Utah though, with 0% Mexican market. Oh, and I forgot, we actually can form Rio de la Plata. Should we? I mean, guess we could technically do that. Do we want to though? Is there any actual benefit for that? Doesn't really feel like there. Maybe after this war, I'll think about it. Finally, we're modernized. Laissez-faire. What else do we need to change now? Obviously, our taxation system. That has to be the absolute next thing that has to go. All right, looks like the Brazilians are basically falling apart now. Say hello to my little new Brazilian friends. Confederation of the Equator and Minas Gerais, both of which we're gonna get some juicy treaty with. Now it's also time we create our power block. Unfortunately, we cannot be a sovereign empire because we're not a monarchy. We're gonna actually stay as a trade league, and I'm just gonna vassalize everybody that I just released from the Brazilians. That works too. But yeah, Shnokidons, let's go, baby. I feel confident that we can grab all of this stuff before the British even start colonizing the southern tip. They may not have even noticed that we started colonizing this. And we also did switch to steel frame production methods. It's about time we did it. I'm gonna get rid of my consumption taxes too. Add a couple of promote national values around the country, because we've got a lot of different cultures around. I'd like to homogenize a bit if I can. At the very least, I'd like to do so in the areas where we have a lot of small native minorities. Wait, what? Hindustani become obsessed with opium. Did we just make an entire nation obsessed with opium because we were trading with them? That is crazy. And we are Platinian no more. Paraguayan becomes the primary culture of Paraguay, and Platinian stops being our primary culture. We do get national awakening for 120 months, and yeah, I feel like we should have just stuck with Platinian. I feel like that would have been the better option. I think it's also high time that we grab the Guyanas from the French and the Dutch, for that matter. Let's see, what do they want for this? You know what? That actually is not too bad. 92% chance of them accepting, so that's basically basically a guarantee. There you go. We got almost all of Guyana. I'm kind of thinking to just attack the Dutch though, because they don't have any actual allies, and I feel confident I can win this war. All right, well, that was a fairly easy attack. Now we just have to hold on to this until we enforce. We're now starting to get an insane amount of migrants into our country. French Paulistas, everything. The time has arrived though to attack the leftover states of Brazil, which are basically free for the taking. Check out Goiás though. They've somehow became communist. Council Republic, cooperative ownership, graduated taxation. This little Schnitzeldorf has better laws than most of the world. Wait, they got what? How does that even work, brother? How? Gonna leave it here. We managed to unify South America as Paraguay, the smallest nation. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Till the next time, remember that I love you guys, and I want you to take care of yourself.